To the Vault Excel, thank you for joining me. We're going to get started with some information coming out of Knoxville, Tennessee, pertaining to I think it's Latawyne or Latawyne Osborne. I don't know if I'm pronouncing the name correctly. Anyway, I'll just call him Mr. Osborne. I'm going to bring you some information from almost 2 years ago pertaining to this male. He has a lengthy criminal past, and we're going to dive into that information. Thank you for joining me. This is live number 1.
Now, we are working to find out more about how a woman died in a home where 3 other people were shot. Knoxville police say the coroner is working to figure out how the woman died. This happened early this morning at a home on Gilbert Lane near Price Avenue. Police say the 3 people who were shot should be okay. One is considered a person of interest and is being questioned by detectives. Investigators say they found multiple spent shell casings inside of that home.
All right, thank you so much. I'll be going back and forth through videos to bring you said information. So this incident happened on Gilbert Lane, South Knoxville, for those of you who are familiar with this area. Channel 10 News is the source. Let's go down a bit and take a dive into some more content. We're going to go back in history. Same man we're talking about linked to this story of the 2 shootings and the woman found dead in the apartment, or home rather. The woman filed an SA report against Mr. Osborne the day before she was found dead in his house. So what happened in his house where she's unalive, 2 other people are shot, he was shot, he went to the UT Medical Center, and then he was arrested thereafter for the sexual assault against the dead woman. So I hope you all are following me. 2 people shot in a home, 1 woman found deceased. That same woman filed a rape report the day before against Mr. Osborne. He also goes to the hospital shot, and as you hear, a lot of spent shells were inside of the home. Now we're going to go back to almost 2 years ago. This same man was barricaded inside of a public housing development in Knoxville, Tennessee by the name of Western Heights. And we're going to tie all this together to the current story. Thank you for joining me. WATE News 6 is the source. That might be a brief commercial there. Sorry about that. Hello, everybody in the chat. Thank you for joining me. This is the worst.
Police say charges may be pending for a man who barricaded himself in an apartment in the Western Heights area of North Knoxville earlier today. 6 on your side's Wes Cooper, live with us here in the studio. So, Wes, the incident all began with a Knoxville officer attempting to pull the man over.
That's exactly right, Bo. Police say they tried to make the traffic stop on I-40 near I-275. That's when the man fled to Western Heights. Nichols is fed up with crimes near Western Heights.
Little girl got killed, a week ago. A shot right up here on Dejuane. Right up the street, which ain't that far away from me.
Nichols lives across the street from Western Heights, and she had a front row seat to Knoxville police trying to talk a man out of an apartment after a car chase.
You see a lot. There's no good path for it. You gotta really be careful. Because if you want to hide out, you come here. That's about the way it is.
Mike Parton lives in Western Heights and watched as the incident. So he decided to leave for his mom's house about an hour away.
It was just very, very nail-biting tenseness to not know which way this guy was going to go. I was in the apartments across from him, from where he exited, so I was about 50 feet away.
Police report after talking with negotiators around 6 p.m., the barricaded man voluntarily exited the apartment and was taken into custody without incident.
I was glad to see all of the police, and I felt safer when they were there, but I have not seen anything like this here.
What keeps you staying here, I guess? Like, what do you say?
Because my dead husband bought me this place. And we just bought the trailer 2 days before he died. So this is my home. So I ain't got nowhere else to go.
Nichols added she would like to see more authoritative action in the Western Heights area because she's tired of her property being damaged due to crimes nearby. Bill.
All right, everybody. Thank you for joining me. So, many of you are probably wondering where this story is going. Once again, 2 people were shot in a home. 1 woman was found dead in that same home. That same woman who was found dead filed a police report the day before against this Mr. Osborne, that he sexually assaulted her. If you go to Facebook, you'll see pictures of her. Nice looking girl. She was following him. So obviously they were acquaintances because they were Facebook friends. She is no longer alive. So now I can take you back to July 2022, where you see this standoff here. He is that same person. Obviously, they were following him for a reason. He takes them on a chase and then exits off the highway and goes into this housing development, Western Heights, to hide out in someone's apartment. Whose apartment was that? He's been walking the streets free from a crime of a woman found dead inside of a car. I've not seen any more updates to that story. What happened? Any suspects? Nothing. So here we go. 2022. A woman is found dead in a car. He's a person of interest. They are obviously law enforcement following him, watching him, go on a high-speed chase, and he ends up in this news story I just played for you, where he held up in someone's apartment. But you never hear that he was arrested for the murder of that woman who was found in the car in East Knoxville, in an alley. Now fast forward to 2024. He's made news again. Shooting of 2 people inside of an apartment. 1 woman found dead, same woman who brought a charge against him the day before, and he goes to the hospital with a gunshot wound. And once he's released, he's arrested for the rape of this young lady. Let's go back in time to the lady in the car in July of 2022. Thank you for joining me. Knoxville police ID woman found shot in car in Park City neighborhood. This was uploaded July 18, 2022. Knoxville police have identified the woman found shot in a car in the Park City neighborhood Saturday night as Japhasha Mitchell, 26 of Knoxville. A spokesperson said a suspect has not been identified. Mitchell's death has been ruled a homicide and is being investigated as such, the spokesperson said. At around 8:30 p.m., officers responded to an alley in the 2500 block of Louise Avenue. The spokesperson said they found Mitchell, who had been shot at least 1 time, unresponsive in a car parked in the alley. Mitchell was removed from the car and paramedics attempted life-saving measures. A release stated she was taken to the University of Tennessee Medical Center where she was pronounced dead. Numerous people were interviewed at the scene, but a suspect has not been identified. Anyone with information is asked to contact East Tennessee Valley Crime Stoppers, 865-215-7165, or you can go online, lowercase, East Tennessee Valley crimestoppers.org, or via the P3 Tips mobile app. Tipsters can remain anonymous and be eligible to receive a cash reward. So this is a story of a Black woman found in her car, 26 years of age, Japhasha Mitchell. And this Mr. Osborne was a person of interest, but he was never arrested for this crime of this young lady. Now, fast forward to now. People shot in a home. And 1 woman found dead. And that same woman filed a report against Mr. Osborne the day before. So how did he get in the house? Did he go in this house to hurt her, harm her? Why is the death unknown? Because we have 2 people shot. So how did she die? Drug overdose, strangulation, what? Who shot him? Did he shoot the 2 people in the house, a guy and a girl? They're near the same age as the victim. They're in their 20s. He's almost 40. So as I said in my commentary to some people, why are you hanging around 20-something-year-olds in the first place? Was he dating this young lady? Were they good friends, not good friends? What happened? Did he sexually assault her? And how did it end up they're all in the same house in a shootout? Very interesting. Let's go into the belly of the beast. WVLT News is the source pertaining to this story. See if I can get some audio played here for this news story. Thank you all so much for joining me. Hello, everybody. Hello. Thank you. Guess everyone's been watching the eclipse today. I briefly looked. Hold on one second, everybody. Well, still a commercial. Hold on. A lot going on in Knoxville. Too much drama. Hope you're all well. Got to bring you back-to-back content.
Identifying one of the victims and one of the suspects. Investigators say 22-year-old Denishka Meja reported she was sexually assaulted on Thursday. The next day, they responded to a home on Walker Street and found her dead and 2 others shot. Before her death, she identified 39-year-old Latawyne Osbourne. Police say Osborne showed up to the University of Tennessee Medical Center with gunshot wounds. Homicide detectives questioned him after he was released from the hospital and charged him with rape. The other 2 gunshot victims are expected to survive, but have not yet been identified. This investigation remains active and ongoing.
All right. That's Channel 8 News, if you're curious, to the source. So, I don't really know how to pronounce his name. Latawyne. We'll just call him Mr. Osborne, because I don't want to be pronouncing somebody's name. So, KPD, they're investigating 3 people shot and 1 person killed in a Friday morning shooting. The shooting happened at a home in South Knoxville on Gilbert Lane, 1:15 a.m. Whose house was it? When officers arrived on the scene, they found a 22-year-old Denishka Sabaha I think it's called Mehiha, of Knoxville, dead inside the home. Officers said they also found a 23-year-old man and woman, the same age, inside the home shot. So who are all these people? Are they related to the woman who was found dead? Are they her friends, relatives? What happened? Who owns the house? Later, Erlin said 39-year-old Latawyne Osborne arrived at UT Medical Center with a gunshot wound. He was a person of interest in the investigation to the shootings and was interviewed by homicide detectives. Erlin said in an update on Saturday, Mehiha, if I don't know if I'm pronouncing her name right, reported that she was the victim of a sexual assault at a home in the 600 block of Walker Street. So note that these 2 places are not near each other. The scene of the rape is in West Knoxville, off of, Middlebrook Pike, Sutherland area. Okay? And this happened on April 4th, and Mr. Osborne was named as the suspect. So here we go. He's named in a sexual assault on April 4th. Next day, he goes over to this home where the victim is and 2 other people. There's a shootout. Don't know who's doing all the shooting. So he's in there with the 3 people. He's also in there with the victim who claimed he raped her the day before. How did he get in? Who let him in? Did he break in? He went to the hospital. They went to the hospital. Obviously, they named him as the shooter. So he's involved now, accused of shooting 2 people and also the rape of this woman. Now, on this screen, you'll see where I showed you video earlier by WATE News of this same man barricading himself in this public housing development back in 2022 because he was watched, followed, high-speed chase, barricaded himself in a park. Stay woke now. But he has not been arrested in that crime of Jafesha Mitchell. So here we go. 2022, woman found dead in a car, shot. He's a person of interest. They follow him, high-speed chase, barricades himself in the projects, and then poof, we never hear nothing else about him or the victim. And I've Googled before coming on. There's no new information about a suspect, nothing. Did he murder Jafesha Mitchell, 20 years of age, African-American female? Fast forward now, last week. You're in the house again with a dead woman and 2 other people shot, and he shot. So what is really going on? Okay, perspective. Okay, thank you, honey. So Did he kill the woman in 2022 of July? The woman found dead in the alley. Did Osborne kill her? Okay. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Did he kill her? Sorry about my... I knew something wasn't right years ago when I did the short. And somebody finally commented on it yesterday, saying, oh, he's linked to another woman. And the weird thing about it is, when I finally saw his picture this weekend, I said, damn, that photograph looks so familiar. Where do I know this face from? And then it hit me. I said, you've talked about the guy before on your channel. You made a video about him being linked to another woman's murder who was found in a car in an alley in East Knoxville. So what are the odds? His face looks familiar. Go pull him up. He fits the bio of the story from 2022, and he's the same guy linked to these shootings, and a woman in the house who also filed a rape report against him the day before. Truth. Mr. Osborne has had a lengthy past with law enforcement. I pulled up information from earlier that he had an arrest in 2020 in Hamilton County, that's Chattanooga, Tennessee. He also linked to that shooting of a woman in 2022, July. He also was arrested in 2008 for shooting out of a car at a woman, I believe. I think they said it was his girlfriend. Very interesting information. Hold on one second. I think I've got more information about that. So I had to go back in the book and look. Lord have mercy. Hope everybody's well. One second. I thought I had it. I thought I had the other story of him. I think I had just pulled it up. But anywho, he's been to prison. Because when you go to his Facebook page, in prison outfits with different people. So he also was in a shooting back in 2008. And I had that information somewhere. What is this guy's deal? I also have the picture of the young lady who is no longer alive. Hold on, everybody. Now I can't find it. This is how it goes. Every time I go live, I tell you. One second. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for following. Sorry about my screen. I'm multitasking right now, trying to pull up all these stories. This is so damn busy. You can't even keep up with everything because they got so many damn stupid stuff. I'm trying to find the story about her. They keep saying nothing. Hold on, wait a minute. One second, everybody. I always like to have all this ready before I get on, but obviously not. Here we go. Come on, everybody. I can work better when I'm on my phone. Just a second. I don't know why I can't. Sarah. I'm gonna have to pull her up. Sarah Ann posted a post about her being her friend. And I'm trying to pull up the friend list so I can show you all. Well, okay, this is not working for some reason. And I don't know why her picture's not coming up on Facebook either. It's strange because I had just looked at her picture. Hope everybody's well. Oh, Foxfire, honey, a little bit of everything. I'm trying to find this girl's picture on Facebook so I can show it to everybody. For some reason, it's not coming up. I think it's Danishka. They're spelling her name different. That's why it's not coming up. All right, here we go. I can get a good picture of her. This is the woman that was found dead in the home. Sorry it took me so long, everybody. She filed a report against Mr. Osborne on the 4th of April saying he sexually assaulted her. She is now dead. She was found dead inside of a house with 2 other people shot. They're 23 and she's in her 20s as well. She's no longer alive. Mr. Osborne has been linked to another dead woman in a car back in 2022. Okay, in July 2022, she was found shot to death. So what happened to this pretty girl here? So Mr. Osborne, did you sexually assault this woman? You do have a lengthy past of shooting at a car, shooting at a girlfriend, I believe, in 08. You went to prison. You have felonies in Georgia. Don't know what those felonies are. You also have done something in Hamilton County, which is Chattanooga. You've done some dirt down there. You've been busy. You've been busy from state to state, Georgia to Tennessee, back and forth. I see on your profile, you consider yourself a gangster disciple. Oh, Lord, more bullshit. As if anybody gives a fuck, but anyhow, that's the way it goes, everybody. Gangbanger. 40-year-old gangbanger. He will be 40 come this August 15th. What's the 411? A lot of nonsense. Hold on a minute, everybody. Sorry it's taking me so long. I don't navigate good on these computers. I can do better when I'm on my cell phone. As I said, his picture looked familiar to me when I saw him as the suspect. Busy bee, busy bee, busy bee. What happened in that house, sir? Last post was March 31st. You can paint your own picture of me, but don't leave out it's perfect. Okay, if you say so. If you say so, sir. What happened? What happened in that house? What happened with that woman in the alley 2 years ago? We don't hear anything about her. Another unsolved murder that you are possibly behind that. How about that? Because what are the odds that you are linked to 2 murders or in the vicinity, perhaps, of 2 people being shot? One's dead in the house. They didn't say she was shot. And then you are a person of interest in a woman found dead in a car in an alley in July of 2022. What's the truth? When I get more information about this black person, I will surely bring it to you. He seems to really like himself, likes to post a lot, talk a lot, throw up gang signs and all that. But in the end, nobody gives a fuck about none of that because we're talking about a dead woman, pretty girl who's no longer alive. And this is bad, bad business. And your friends on Facebook, our friends on Facebook, so we know you know her. So we already can debunk that theory. You two are friends. We go to her Facebook page. It shows she's following you. Okay? She's following you. Because I would definitely show everybody her page, the about part of her page, and you are one of her friends. Single, lives in Knoxville. Very sad. I was trying to see where it shows who she's following. Oh, here it is right here. Missed it. Right here. Tanishka Molina, friends, current city following. Latawyne Osbourne, or Latawyne, whatever the hell his name is. There it is, right there in ink. Very sad. Let's get down to some more business, everybody. I watched a crazy court appearance by this black woman, Dejuane Anderson. As many of you know who follow this story, I didn't know if I really wanted to talk about it or not, but I'm going to go ahead and discuss it anyway. Her child was found in a suitcase in rural Indiana, in a place where she didn't live, town she didn't live in. White man found the baby in a suitcase. Suitcase had Las Vegas emblems on it. She and her girlfriend were suspects in the death of the child, and they both believed that the child was a demon entity. The child was possessed. Well, we're going to go into the belly of the beast and show you how wacky this woman is. But you can decide if you think she's crazy, schizophrenic, making all this up for court, or what. Her girlfriend, I'll say girlfriend because she had a lady friend that was hanging with her, living with her, whatever. She also was arrested for the charge of the child in the suitcase, and she received 30 years, her co-conspirator. So I do believe they were in a relationship. And when you look at her here in this video, she looks crazy as hell. Naturally, you're in jail, you don't get all that fine luxury products to comb your hair and get your hair done, get your makeup done. So let's see what Court TV has to say about this nut. This is part 2 of this live, everybody. Dejuane Anderson, Space Force was following me. I try not to laugh listening to this audio, but I had to because I realize how crazy the world is and how sick people are, especially after watching this mess right here. I don't know why I'm having difficulties today. I can't switch up. Every time I switch up a monitor or TV, it just gets having problems. Whew. Thanks for bearing with me. This is not a good day. These lives take everything out of me.
Mr. Seacap, would you bring out Ms. Anderson? Take her to the witness stand. Have her stand. Take her to the witness stand. Have her stand there. Cause number 88 C01 2210 F1833, State of Indiana versus Dejuane Anderson. Ms. Anderson, would you state your full name, please?
Yes, I am Princess Collegian,
Oh, Jesus,
You're
help
known
me.
as Dejuane Anderson. And your date of birth?
My date of birth is February 2nd, 1961.
And that would make you how old?
I'm 63 years old.
And the last 4 digits, your social security number?
I don't have a social security number, have declaration, of nationality, underneath the Washington Osborne, under the indigenous people, the United Nations, chapter 21519.
What's your address?
My address is 5320 Harmony Avenue, apartment 9, North Hollywood, California, 91602.
Do you have a good contact telephone number?
I don't know, contact number by heart, I believe it's 747, 764.
Are you under the influence of any drugs, including alcohol today?
No,
You read and understand the English language.
yes,
If I say something you don't understand, will you let me know?
I don't know if
Ms. Anderson? Officer Busick, who's investigated this and looked for you for the past 2 years, and Prosecutor Hunt have charged you with 3 counts of criminal conduct. Count 1 is murder as a felony, would indicate that between April the 10th, 2022, and April the 16th, 2022, in Washington County, state of Indiana, you did knowingly or intentionally kill another human being, that being child victim number 1, contrary to the form of the statute such cases made and provided by Indiana Code 35-42-1-1, parentheses 1, and against the peace and dignity of the state of Indiana. Count 2, neglect of a dependent resulting in death as a level 1 felony.
See how she's looking at the district attorney?
Would indicate between December the 1st, 2021
I
and
can't.
April the 16th, 2022 in Washington County, state of Indiana, you being at least 18 years of age and having the care of child victim 1, a dependent less than 14 years of age, did knowingly place said dependent in a situation that endangered the dependent's life or health and which resulted in the death of child victim number 1. Count 3, obstruction of justice as a level 6 felony, would indicate that between April the 10th, 2022 and April the 16th, 2022 in Washington County, state of Indiana, you did alter, damage, or remove a record, document, or thing with the intent to prevent said item from being produced or used as evidence in a legal proceeding or an administrative or criminal investigation, contrary to the form of the statutes made in such case provided. The murder, a felony, has a range of imprisonment from 45 years to 65 years, with the advisory sentence being 55 years and up to a $10,000 fine. The level 1 felony, neglect of a dependent, resulting in death, has a range of imprisonment from 20 years to 40 years, with the advisory sentence being 30 years and up to a $10,000 fine. And the level 6 felony has a range of imprisonment of no time in jail if it's treated as a misdemeanor, to 2.5 years at the Indiana Department of Corrections, with the advisory sentence being 1 year and up to a $10,000 fine. Do you understand what you've been charged with?
I don't understand.
Okay. And do you understand the potential penalties? Do you intend to hire a lawyer, or is someone likely to hire a lawyer for you?
I will have self-representation.
You understand if you do that, you are required to conduct yourself as a lawyer to be able to board our potential jurors, to abide by the rules of evidence, to abide by the rules of procedure.
I do understand how to react to this,
That doesn't give you a law degree, though.
but I do understand how to read procedures.
All right. All right. Just because
Look at her.
you represent yourself.
This heifer's crazy.
Doesn't ensure yourself of a good lawyer, you know.
That's no thing, but I understand.
Make your request in writing, okay?
I will. Can you give me at least, it's like 5 days?
I can certainly give you 5 days to do that. I think what my intention would be, let me ask you this. Can you afford a lawyer?
Hey, Jess.
I want to do self-representation because I understand the nature of my case, and I understand that this is my life on the line, and I do understand that there are things that involve my case as far as the evidence that I hold, which is classified evidence, which should be turned over to the judge at the general court immediately, if possible. Because my case involves other cases that are open currently with Judge Advocate General Courts, as well as federal investigations that are open.
Well, if the Judge Advocate General approaches us, we'll address it at that point in time.
Wow. She knows a little something, don't she?
How about I appoint you to stand by counsel?
Lord Jesus.
No, thank you. All right. You make your written request. I need to advise you, you have a right to a speedy public trial by jury in this county. You have the right to face all witnesses against you, see your question and cross-examine those witnesses. You have the right to have witnesses brought into court to testify on your behalf, and at your request, the court will issue subpoenas requiring those individuals to come into court to testify on your behalf or to bring evidence in. You have the right to have the state prove you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. You have the right to remain silent. You cannot be required to give any testimony or make any statements against yourself to anyone. You do have the right to be heard in your own defense in any hearing or trial concerning the charges against you. Anything you say, however, may be used against you. Do you have any questions concerning your rights?
No, I do not.
Okay. Then I will set this matter for a pretrial conference on the 25th day of April at 9 a.m. A trial date of the 6th day of August of this year at 8:30 a.m. and an omnibus date of June the 15th. Do you have any questions at all?
No.
Very interesting. Sorry about that, everybody.
Every guest star. I'm so glad you come on every
Oh, Lord.
There's a game
Over here. Good Lord. I can't maneuver nothing today. I don't know what's going on. Sorry about this. Hold on one second. I don't even know why they got these damn commercials in here. This is just
All right.
crazy. Sorry.
Sign this reappearance slip. We'll discuss the issue of bond. Ms. Knight, what's the state's position?
Yes, Your Honor. Given the gravity of this case, first of all, I would like for you just to take judicial notice of the probable cause affidavit that the state filed in support of these 3 charges which resulted in the arrest warrant. I'd also like to bring to the judge's attention there's almost a 2-year mark of officers locating, at the time, unidentified little boy in the woods. So I would argue that the defendant has been a fugitive since that time her identification has been made. I think that raises any in a murder case to be something of the utmost importance and should be of an amount that should be very difficult, if not impractical, for her to be able to afford, or I feel she will be abscond from this court. She's never been from Indiana. She's not from Washington County, from my understanding. She was located in California. So on that reserve, I would leave that to the court. And further motion is needed on the state's behalf. I will make that.
Thank you, Ms. Ms. Anderson, you just made an objection.
Yes.
State the basis of your objection.
The basis of my objection is the fact that I am not a fugitive. I have been under NSA surveillance for the past 8 months. And how can that qualify me as a fugitive on the run when I've also had a detail from Space Force that was following my every move? When I contacted.
All right. Let me tell you, that is not a valid legal objection. If you want to represent yourself, you're going to have to learn the rules of evidence and the rules of procedure, because if you conduct yourself like this and make these types of objections, you have no chance in the world, lady.
Wow.
So objection overruled, but I will let you make argument in regards to bond.
Okay. So that's my argument is that I have been under surveillance by NSA for over 8 months. I also have a detail that follows me as we all go from Space Force Nursing. As instance, I also contacted Indiana State. I think it was a federal marshal that I called to have my location tracked to pick me up. So there's no type of extent of me running where I need this astronomical on my charges.
Well, that's sort of interesting because it's my understanding Officer Busick has been in touch with almost every one of those agencies and they haven't been able to identify your location until recently. So I'm going to set your bond at no bond at this particular point in time. That if Space Force comes forward and tells me that they're willing to monitor you, we'll take up the issue of bond.
I can't, Jesus. Well, if Space Force
Anything else?
can come forward with
All right,
proof.
we'll be off record at 1:44. You can, she's remanded to the custody of the Washington County Sheriff's Department.
Oh my gosh, you can't make this up.
You're welcome. Oh, Sam, let me see if I give you the right one.
Let me see what else they got. Okay, one more minute here.
Kelly.
Okay. When I watched this yesterday, I couldn't stop laughing because I was like, Space Force. She's basically telling the judge, look, I have been under detail from NASA. Queen had to go Google this because they changed the name. The NASA to the Space Force. A civilian can also apply for employment with the Space Force. It is part of the Air Force military. You did not know this. So basically, Ms. Anderson is saying, I've been tracked. I've called an official with the State Department to let them know how to find me. The Space Force has been tracking me for 8 months or so. So what you have to decide is how crazy is she? Because you can have different diagnoses, but still know what you're doing is wrong. And that's the case we have here. This is nothing but a black version of Lori Vallow Daybell. And for those of you who did not know, a jury has been seated in the Chad Daybell trial. A jury has been seated. They will commence on Wednesday morning. Now, back to this crazy nut. She's another version of Lori Vallow. Hearing things, seeing things, been told things. The child was possessed, child's evil. She and her lover, partner, whomever, unalive this child or starve this child. And then when the child succumbed to his injuries, they put him in a suitcase and dumped him in rural Indiana. This is uploaded April 4th, this content. Mom of 5-year-old found dead in suitcase makes bizarre court appearance after arrest in Arcadia. Lord have mercy. And this is Arcadia, California. The woman accused of murdering her son and stuffing his body in a suitcase heard the charges against her in court Tuesday. Dejuane Anderson was ordered held without bond during her court appearance in which she made bizarre claims about how she was under federal surveillance for several months before her capture. Anderson, 38, was arrested last month in Arcadia. She's charged with murder, neglect, and obstruction of justice in the death of 5-year-old Cairo Amar Jordan, whose body was discovered by a mushroom hunter in April 2022 in a rural area of Washington County, Indiana. I've been under NSA surveillance for the past 8 months, Anderson told Washington County Circuit Judge Larry Medlock. And how can that qualify me as a fugitive on the run when I've also had a detail from Space Force that was following my every move? God, somebody please help me. If Space Force comes forward and tells me they're willing to monitor you, Medlock replied, we'll take up the issue of bond at a later time. I'm sorry. I am trying my best to compose myself because I'm not believing this bullshit. If I didn't know any better, I would not think this is a case about a little boy in a suitcase. This is what's terrible is because I'm laughing at this nonsense because I just can't believe she stood there in court and told the judge these things. So is this woman schizophrenic? Please, somebody bring a receipt about this lady. Golly. Okay, where was I? Okay, When Medlock initially asked Anderson to identify herself, she replied with another name beginning with Princess and said she was representing the entity of Anderson, local news outlets reported. And as you heard in this audio, feel free to go back into YouTube queue to hear this video again. Anderson asked to represent herself, but Medlock said he'll ask someone from the public defender's office to represent her. She's due back in court April 25th with a tentative trial date scheduled for August. An autopsy found that Cairo died from vomiting and diarrhea that led to dehydration, state police said. Investigators said the boy had died about a week or less before the mushroom hunter came upon the little boy's body. A second woman charged in the case reached a plea deal with prosecutors in November. Dawn Coleman, 41, of Shreveport, Louisiana, was sentenced to 30 years in prison with 5 years suspended to probation after pleading guilty to aiding, inducing, or causing murder, neglect of a dependent, resulting in death, and obstruction of justice. The Associated Press contributed to this report. ABC 7 News is the source, everybody. Thank you for joining me. Let's go back into the belly of the beast, because this is baffling. I try not to laugh because this is a serious story. I just couldn't believe the audacity to go into court with this nonsense. I mean, I'm just a befuddled. That's the suitcase that the boy child was found in rural Indiana. For those of you who have followed the story, probably already have seen this picture. But that's the suitcase that the baby boy was found in. What happened to him? Were they starving him? Was he sick? Did he have any type of illnesses? What happened? Something happened to him. Trying to pull up some information about what she thought was going on with the child. She and her, I say her lover. See if somebody else has another story. See if she got a Facebook. This is Dejuane in better times. Don't know if her mind was jacked up then. This is a Facebook account, February 27, 2018. She had a business. She's lived in Georgia. If you see the profile, student at Georgia State University, went to Druid Hills High School, Atlanta, Georgia, lives in Atlanta from Decatur. What happened to this female? Because something went terribly wrong in her mind. Who can attest to what was going on with her? Because we've learned about schizophrenia. It's usually diagnosed later in life. Is she schizophrenic? Does she have some type of mental disorder? What happened? What happened with the kid? That's what I'm trying to understand. Because I'm not pulling up anything that talks about what actually happened with the child. Let's see what this article says. Hello, everybody. Thank you. She's nuts. Brooke says she's obviously nuts. Well, I guess one could say that. But when you sit here and listen to her talk, I mean, it's just unbelievable. She was very confident in her words, very articulate. She's talking, like she knows, or half-assed, she thinks she knows the system. But as he told her, you can't be doing these objections because you're not going to make it. You're not going to make it during trial. So you see, he appointed her a public defender because he sees there's something wrong with her, whether she's putting on an act or she really is mentally defective. Because she needs an attorney. There's no way she can represent herself. No way. Trial to start in August. let's see. The baby's body was found April 16, 2022 by a mushroom hunter in the woods, New Pekin, Indiana. At that point, nobody knew his name. By June 1st, with the help of the community donations, a funeral was held in Salem, and then October 26, 6 months after Cairo was found, police identified him and officially charged Anderson, his mother, and arrested another woman, Dawn Coleman, 41, of Shreveport. She was sentenced to 30 years in prison with 5 years suspended to probation. More than a year after that, on November 21st, 2023, Coleman was sentenced to 25 years in prison for the role in Cairo's murder. Court records show Coleman was with Anderson the night Cairo was killed. A probable cause affidavit states that Coleman admitted to walking into a bedroom of the home where she witnessed Anderson lying on top of the child, who was face down on the bed with his face into the mattress. According to a news release, Coleman told police it was already done when she walked in. She said Anderson asked her to help put Cairo in a trash bag and then into a suitcase. So her co-conspirator or witness basically is saying she walked into the bedroom and saw Anderson lying on top of the child who was face down. So what? She suffocated him? Well, what happened? Prosecutors said the two women then drove to an area outside of Pekin where they dumped the suitcase in a wooded area. Autopsy found that Cairo died from vomiting and diarrhea that led to dehydration, ISP said. The toxicology report showed no foreign substances in his system, and he had no significant external injuries, according to ISP Sergeant Kerry Hulse. He was found clean and clothed, and there is no indication he was placed in the suitcase alive. Investigators said the boy had died about a week or less before the mushroom hunter discovered his body. So this is very strange to me. Medlock said, based on what he heard Tuesday, he'll ask someone from the public defender's office to represent Anderson. If she files a written request and they believe she has the ability to comprehend and represent herself, they will reevaluate. So he died from vomiting, diarrhea. So was he sick with something? It's a very strange case. Was he sick from something? And then what? Very bizarre. Well, Ms. Coleman's already in penitentiary, serving a 30-year sentence, and Ms. Anderson will be going to trial August. So we will see how that fares out in her favor. If she will represent herself, or she will, I don't know. The public defender will assist her in court. Wow, what a mess. I cannot get this device to work in here. This is so strange. I'm going to come back here in a few minutes and bring you live number 2, because I'm not working out in this over here. Sorry about that. I don't know what's going on with my devices, but they're acting really strange. There's a story I saw that's so wicked. Pertaining to this anesthesiologist. I want to discuss this for just a second.
Together that IV bags were the source of multiple cardiac emergencies at a North Dallas surgical center. Good evening, I'm Clarice Tinsley. This is the 4th day of testimony in the trial of a doctor who prosecutors say was caught on camera putting tainted IV bags in a warmer, resulting in 1 death and a number of cardiac emergencies. Fox 4's Lori Brown reports.
We no longer felt a pulse. That is what Dr. Thomas Hung testified about the horrific events that unfolded during surgery to repair Jack Adlerstein's nose after a bike accident. Hung said there were signs of fluid in his lungs. Someone suggested we change the IV bag, Dr. Hung testified, and in 1 minute, Jack's condition improved. That someone turned out to be anesthesiologist Dr. Chad Marsden.
No question, thank you so much.
Dr. Marsden testified how he came to the realization the IV bags could be behind a string of emergencies and patients at the center. August 19th, 2022, a Friday, his patient, Kelly Pfeiffer, experienced skyrocketing blood pressure, and unlike any other case, he could not control it with medication. She was rushed to the ER. Dr. Marsden noticed the nurse there gave her a new IV bag so she could chart the volumes. Pfeiffer's condition improved and she survived the event. Over the weekend, Dr. Marsden said he could not stop thinking about the case. Nothing made sense about it. When Pfeiffer's surgeon called him, he told her, "If a week from now you told me an investigation found someone was putting epinephrine in IV bags, I would be horrified, but not surprised." He said he knew it sounded outlandish. He called the surgery care administrator, Ashley Burks, to see if he could come look at charts for the unusual cases. He had the opportunity Wednesday. When he pulled up, an ambulance was already there. The patient in distress was Jack Adlerstein. After Jack was transported to the hospital, he instructed personnel that nothing should leave the room. He found a wrapper for an IV bag, and it had a small hole in it. Former U.S. Attorney Paul Coggins says the government could soon rest its case.
If I were a prosecutor and I presented a case like this, I had so much powerful testimony, not just a 1-2 punch, really, but a 1-2-3-4 punch here to the jury, where they're getting hit with all these emotional stories. I would think an ideal time for me to rest as the government would be Friday afternoon and send this jury home for the weekend, think about my case.
Some jurors have asked if court will still be in session Monday, the day of the total solar eclipse. The judge has said yes, but he will allow for an extended lunch break so that jurors will be able to come out to see the eclipse outside.
All right, so obviously this is already in court. I just saw it in the queue. It kind of piqued my interest, and so I decided to talk about it. Sorry about this. Lord, I don't know what's going on. Lord have mercy. Can't get it together for some reason. This is just another reminder of cases of nurses who were doing harm to patients and they finally got caught. So now we have a doctor. I believe he's Hispanic or some nationality, non-white man. Sir, why are you tampering with the IV bags? This is scary because people have surgeries every day for the most minor of things. One-day surgery. Sometimes they stay over depending on, the situation of what they had done. When, want to monitor their heart and everything and make sure you don't get any blood clots. So you might have to stay over an extra day. A tiny hole was found in a bag, one of the IV bags. And this doctor here is the guilty party. Obviously, they're at trial, because I thought this was like a newer case, but obviously they're at trial. And I just saw it in the queue and I decided to touch on it briefly and I'll check out of here. You don't know people. This is just a prime example of blind trust. You have to trust somebody to do just about everything. You have to trust somebody where you work. You have to trust somebody to repair something at your house. You have to trust your doctor. You have to trust the surgeon. You have to trust the anesthesiologist, which is where this fool comes in. He gets you started before the surgeon even touches your body. This is bad, 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 bad. Because this person is supposed to know how much anesthesiology to give you so you could stay asleep during your surgery. But instead of him doing due diligence, he's poking holes in your damn bag. This is bad, honey, bad. And thank God he was found. But who knows how many anesthesiologists they had working at the time. It probably wasn't going to be hard to put 2 and 2 together. He was behind this. Somebody was smart enough to say, well, let's check the IV bags. Of course. Because when you're a professional, nurse, doctor, anesthesiologist, you're supposed to know your damn job. We check all avenues. As they say, we don't leave a stone unturned till we figure out what the hell's going on. And somebody did. Amen. Thank the Lord. And obviously, more was going on. The police gets there. Ambulance, they said, was there. So now you got to ask yourself this. I believe they said one person passed away. So how many people under this doctor's care have not made it? And how many had cardiac arrests? This is just sad and pathetic. that you have to trust someone to do right by you by going into the hospital. As I said, the anesthesiologist, you have nurses, you have the surgeon. Everybody plays an intricate role in your stay there. Putting in the IV, making sure you're getting enough anesthesia to stay out, the surgeon, the surgical techs, the nurses that administer your pain medicine, so on and so forth, your IVs, whatever they need to do to you while you're in the hospital. And the worst case scenario is this right here. A crazy mad hatter poking holes in the damn IV bags. Have you ever heard of such? Because I have not. I have not. Heard of the dirty nurses knocking off patients, killing babies, killing people. That male nurse in North Carolina. We had the drug-addicted nurse in Nashville. Some other nurses throughout history. And now here we go out west, we've got a dirty anesthesiologist. This will make you hate to go to the hospital for anything. Anything. Hell, I don't even want you to touch me. You don't know how to draw blood. I remember the last time I was in the hospital, I had a nostril removed from due to a thyroid issue. And I remember the girl couldn't draw blood from me because, you know, I've always stayed dehydrated. So I thought, oh my gosh, please don't puncture me to death. You know, this is after surgery, of course. But I had to stay over because they wanted to make sure, you know, I didn't get any blood clots or whatever going home. So they kept me overnight after surgery. And I remember in the night, because they kept coming in there, waking me up, because my blood pressure was low. And I kept thinking, I'm never going to get to sleep because these people keep coming in this damn room. But that was their job. They were supposed to check on me. So she comes in. She couldn't draw the blood. And I thought, oh, God, here we go. So she calls for this other guy. He comes in, and he was able to hit it on the spot. So that led me to believe that maybe she didn't know what she was doing. Because she said, oh, he's the blood king, you know, paraphrasing. He's the blood king. He knows how to draw blood on the spot. But that doesn't sound good when you're lying there helpless and somebody's supposed to know how to draw your blood, even though, like I said, I'm very, you know, I'm known to stay dehydrated a lot, not drinking enough water at the time of course, you know, going to get a blood draw. It's naturally you need to stay hydrated. You're not supposed to eat. But nonetheless, it was just scary her saying he's known to draw blood from the patients. He can get it easier. Well, then why are you here? Why are you here? Because that's just not a good analogy to say to a person lying in a hospital bed. Oh, I got to go get Bob because Bob can draw blood better. Oh, okay. I mean, I had blood drawn recently, you know, so I could get all my, you know, everything checked out, thyroid, cholesterol, all that type of stuff. And I remember the girl, she went in the right arm about 2 weeks ago. She couldn't get anything out of there. So then she went to the left arm and she saw, you know, a spot, and she was able to hit it, got a good vein, drew the blood, and there. But I think back to that incident in 2017, summer 2017, trying to get, praying that somebody could draw the damn blood so they could get out my damn room so I could go to sleep. Because all that interfering, I couldn't go to sleep because they kept coming in the room. But that was just scary. You understand what I'm saying? She said, oh, I can't find a vein. Let me go get such and such. He's good at this. He knows how to get a vein easier. And I thought, how are you going to be a nurse or a phlebotomist or whatever your position was if you can't find a vein on the patient? And I get it. There's times you're not going to find a vein, but you have to keep trying. And that's the thing. You don't want them to keep poking and prying you with those needles because they're not little, but you also want them to get the job done. So it's like a catch-22. So now we have this guy here. Don't know how long he's been practicing medicine. He looks older. Looks like he's over 50. So now we got to go back in time and say, what is his rapport like at the hospital? Does he get along with the staff? Does he have any write-ups on him? poor behavior, poor etiquette, poor bedside manner? Does he talk to the patients when he come in, or he just yank them up, throw the IV, and leave out? How many patients have been harmed by this anesthesiologist? I'll bring you an update. This is bad, everybody. This is bad. I'm not going to hold you all because I'm an hour in, but I'm going to bring you information pertaining to, oh, Lord, the Proudfoots and the Wells. That's the next live. If you can give me a couple of minutes, I will be back on here shortly for live number 2. If you'd like to donate to this great network, $ Deganji, 129 Cash App, stickers and chats are always welcome during the live. This is a 2-part live pertaining to Dejuane Anderson. She went before the judge last week, and he's decided to appoint her an attorney because it's obvious that her mind is detached from reality. The fact that she says NASA was following her around for 8 months or so, detailing her, it shows she's not equipped to represent herself in court for the death of her 5-year-old son. And her co-conspirator, partner, whomever, she's already serving a 30-year sentence. The second part of this live stream, the first part of the live stream, is about Mr. Osborne. I don't know how to pronounce his name properly, so I'm not going to, I'll call him Wayne. He's been linked to, as I said, a woman dead in a car back in 2022. He was a person of interest. He was followed by law officials, went on a high-speed chase, barricaded himself in a public housing development apartment. Never heard he was arrested in that case of Japhasha Mitchell. I Google, there's nothing. So here we have 26-year-old woman found dead in a car. He's a person of interest. He's followed, high-speed chase, barricaded in an apartment. He gets out, no arrest of this woman. So what happened to her? Who shot her? That's 2022. He has a lot of criminal records. Hamilton County, Chattanooga. Felonies in Georgia. Shooting in Knoxville in 2008, where he did prison time. Now you come on up to now 2024. 2 people shot in a house. 1 woman dead. And that same woman filed a police report the day before that he sexually assaulted her. So put it together. Dead woman in 2022, person of interest, no arrest. 2024, dead woman found in a house, 2 people shot in a house. He was also shot. He goes to the hospital. He comes out. They arrest him for the rape of the dead woman, and I guess the 2 shootings of the 2 people in the house. Who are the people that were in the house? What is in relation to the dead woman? Did he rape this woman? I showed you her picture during his live stream. I also showed you that she was following him on Facebook, so they knew each other. Now, the place where she was found dead is not the place where the sexual assault happened. So now you got to try to put it together. On Walker Street, whose place was that? Because when you Google it, it will have a fuzzy picture, because Google does that now. Whenever there's a crime scene, they put a cloud over the picture. So that's how you know you're at the right address, because they've been doing that now since the Idaho 4. Everybody going to social media looking. So now, they put up a cloud over that location. So if you go into Google and search that Walker Street address, it's going to have a cloud over it. That's where the sexual assault took place. So who lived there? Did she live there by herself? Family home? Friend's home? What? Now we leave West Knoxville, Walker Street, from a rape to all the way over to South Knoxville to Gilbert Street, where she's now dead. 2 friends, associates are dead in there. Shot in there. He shot as well. As you heard in this commentary I played, case spents everywhere. So who was doing the shooting? Did he go over to this house knowing she was there? Had he been looking for her? Did he bust in, break in? Did he text her, call her, come outside, I need to talk to you. Hey, I didn't do anything to you. Hey, I apologize. Hey, I'm going to do something to you. How did he get in a house with the victim? Because now this is wicked. Day 1, she files a report that he raped her. And then the next day, he's in the same house with her. He's in another house with her, with some other people. She's dead. They won't even tell us how she died. So this is strange. They don't say that she was shot, but the other two people were shot, and he's also shot. So did he go over there to try to talk to her to get her to take the complaint back? And then he pulled out a gun, and maybe somebody else in the room pulled out a gun. So everybody started shooting each other. But how did she end up dead? Because they didn't say she had a gunshot. This is some strange, bizarre stuff. So feel free to go back to the beginning of this live stream to get that set information. His name is Latawyne Osbourne. He's almost 40 years of age. He'll be 40 in August. He considers himself a gangster disciple. Gang member. You'll see it on his profile on Facebook. A lot of throwing up gang signs and a bunch of fucking nonsense. Nobody cares about that shit. Nobody cares about that. Because your gang members and gang friends, they can't do nothing for you now. Because now, I'm sure the district attorney is getting ready to go and peep back into the case of Jafasha Mitchell, who was shot in a car back in 2022. And Mr. Osborne was a person of interest then. That's why I said when I saw his picture this weekend, I said, wait a minute. This person's face looks awfully familiar. Oh, yeah. You've talked about him, Queen. And I thought then he probably had killed that girl. Because why would you go on a high-speed chase and barricade yourself inside of an apartment? And he has violent tendencies. That's obvious. Because the charge from 2008, I believe he was shooting at a girlfriend or some type of mess. So he's got altercations with women, all type of stuff. And also, I posted to my community board today, Mr. DeHart's criminal record. I did not have that at the time when I talked about him the past 2 weeks. Feel free to go to my community page to check out his extensive history. He's got protection orders, domestic violence, gun charges. He's also been a busy bee, Mr. DeHart. And also, he barricaded himself in a car that was pulled over years back, threatening to kill himself. These some weird-ass black men. I'm serious. Go out here and commit a crime. Now you want to barricade yourself in a car and threaten to kill yourself. Then you got this dodo bird, Mr. Osborne. He goes on a high-speed chase. If you don't have anything to hide, and you see the police behind you, just pull over. Why are you running down the interstate so you can kill somebody, kill yourself? Because you probably did kill that girl in 2022. You probably shot her, probably was dating her. They didn't have no proof. And now here you are, not even 2 years later, you done shot 2 people in a house and then raped the girl who's dead in the house, and they won't even say how she died. This is some wicked SHIT. But I pray that justice is served. And anybody listening to this video, I'm going to say this, and I don't care. If you are his friend, family member, whatever, that's your business. But don't get in my inbox trying to talk to me about what I'm posting on social media sites about Mr. Osborne, because there's no way you're going to explain he's linked to 2 dead women. Either you've never finished the 5th grade, something wrong with you, because you can't put it together. Dead woman in 2022, dead woman in 24. Also sexual assault of the same dead woman. Because I remember a certain person made a comment about people saying stuff about him on social media. You all shouldn't be saying things about him, and you don't know if he did this, did this. Well, if you read properly, it said person of interest. I know in my commentary, I never said he shot that lady in that alley. I just repeat what the news says. And I'm not apologizing for anything I'm saying in this video here. I'm not taking nothing back. So I'm going to make that known during this live stream. I'm not taking back anything I said during this live stream. Everything I repeated is public knowledge. The only thing I've said that's of my opinion is, what are the odds of you being linked to 2 dead women in less than 2 years? And I stand on that. Thank you all so much for joining me. I'll be back with live number 2. Thank you all new subs, viewers. Thank you for patronizing. Please check out my community board for my movies of the week. Oh, Lord have mercy. Do I have a doozy for you? I watched yesterday. Once again, it's an interesting one. Free on Tubi. You don't know people. So I'll say this to any of you. Be careful when you're out here. Be careful the information you share with strangers. Be careful what you post on social media. And know that everybody's not your friend. It's a good movie to watch. I'll surprise you. Just go ahead to my community page and check it out. It's free on Tubi if you like to check it out. Thank you so much. You've been listening to The Flawed XL.